Hello and welcome to Fit to Box channel. Please like and subscribe and don't forget to jab that notifications bell for all my latest uploads. Today I've got the boys back. The fight discussions that we used to do, we haven't done one for about 12 months. It has gone really fast, but we did think that it would be a good time to do another fight discussion with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's fight coming up soon. So we're going to chew the fat over what we think, how we think that fight is going to go. So starting off then, welcome to Alex and Damien. We're in the new studio at Damien's house, and he's actually moved house so that we can have a studio, which I thought was excellent. And so what we're going to do, I'll start off, Alex, who wins this fight?
Wow, okay. I think I'm pulling for Fury straight away.
Okay.
It's a tough one though, because I know obviously the game plan first time, all he had to do was avoid that big right hand of Wilder, and I feel that Wilder we were prepared for more equipped for the fight, but I just feel that Fury was out for so long. He had a few warm-up fights leading to that Wilder fight, and he's the ring rust has probably worn off now, and I think he's probably at his best.
So you think Tyson Fury is better prepared this time?
Yeah, I think Wilder will be better prepared as well, but I just feel that Fury he's had a few more years seasoned in now. Yeah. A bit more time to wear into it a bit. And I think he'll take it. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Damien, what do you reckon?
I've been mulling over this today. We've been thinking about before we started this. As you can tell from what I'm wearing, I'm a Fury fan, and I'd like to. My heart says Fury because, like you said there, he's better prepared this time round. He knows what's coming. Both fighters do. But I think since their fights, what Fury has done in his two fights is more sort of ticking over. With the Tom Schwartz was a 2-round demolition. The Warren fight didn't go to plan. He got a really nasty cut, and ended up going the distance because he was pouring away his hands, so he couldn't fight properly. It turns a bit of a mess. And then you just compare that to what Wilder's done, what he did against Brazil in the first round, and then the repeat with Ortiz, getting totally outboxed. But he just sat back and was patient. He knows that one punch can make the difference. And as much as my heart wants Fury to win,
he's going to go Wilder.
I'm going to go against. I think it's another Ortiz type fight. There's no doubt Fury's going to outbox him. There's no doubt that. I mean, Wilder knows that, but it's just, can he either keep the range or get inside? Or, I mean, he's making his prediction he's going to knock Wilder out in 2 rounds.
Do you think he's going to do that though? Do you think he's going to back that up, or do you think he'll do what he normally does?
I think part of it could be distraction to make Wilder think he's going to come at him, and all we're going to see is exactly the same but better. Just plenty of boxing but better avoidance, better slipping and holding, just to confuse him, or whether he puts like a Tom Schwartz on and does it in 2, breaks his nose and he goes for it, because he can do it. But I
going in a shootout really with the biggest puncher on the planet.
But then again, I've watched some really good videos about this from sort of Teddy Atlas and a few of the different sources, and he's saying that these knockouts, and it's the same with Brazil. It's a 1-2. It's a very long jab, but the jab doesn't mean much. It's more of a distraction, and the right hand comes through and you rotate his whole body, and he's got a long distance. Same with Ortiz. He controlled the whole fight from the centre of the ring. The first time Ortiz put his back on the ropes, Wilder got in position, did that, covered his face, and then bang. Same thing again. I think in some ways that the fact that we're going to know Fury's going to be coming in at around 270 pounds, Wilder's going to be about 220, so it's still a 50 pound advantage. It's a massive weight gain. He should get on his chest. So stop him from all this rotation and getting all this power. Get on his chest fighting and just break him up. I think he could well go for it and have a shootout and do well, but unfortunately, I think with Brazil and Ortiz, the way Wilder's been doing since, I think Wilder will stop him inside the distance.
Do you think Ben Davidson not being around, do you think that will have an impact?
I think he will. Yeah, I like Ben. I thought he was really, I thought he was really
good coach.
I'm a bit disappointed that they've parted ways. To be honest, I thought technically, like in terms of tactics, Ben was spot on. Because I think he knew for that first fight that primary weapon was that right hand Wilder.
He proper studied it, hadn't he?
Yeah. I think I don't know. I know I picked Fury to win, but I think that it's not a good move this sort of late into the day, this close to the rematch, especially because I'd want someone who's been there and done it with me once before to go and do it again with me.
Yeah, I agree with that. But then you've also got to think that this Fury prediction of 2 rounds, he's saying he's going back to the sort of Kronk gym, and he's got Sugar Hill for a reason, because he wants to plant his feet and punch. He trains the fighters to do that type of tactic.
Yeah.
So if he was going to do the same thing again and just confuse Wilder by saying, I'm going to smash you in 2, but really he's going to stand back, then you should stick with Ben, because it's more of the same and more of the slipping and moving and closing the distance and blocking him. Whereas he's going with Sugar Hill, he really seems to be saying, I'm coming for you, and he's telling them so. And you've been seeing a few of the training videos, sort of pre-fight, sort of build up, and the sort of exercises that you see Fury doing, a lot of body weight, he's doing a lot of chin-ups, a lot of dips, he's using his own body weight as a method of strength rather than lifting weights.
And he's masturbating 7 times a day.
Allegedly he's keeping the testosterone flying.
I think he'll be knackered.
He will.
I think his legs will go.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe this is the
good cardio. That's what it is.
Yeah. Maybe this is the Rocky versus Club Alone 2. He's training for come 6-7 rounds. I'm done. And he's just going to set a pace, and he's going to break it. And because he said in the first fight he wasn't match fit, and there were moments where he caught him, but he couldn't have that finishing touch. Where now he's saying, no, I'm going to step on him.
Well, Tyson Fury, even when he was like massive at his heaviest, he was sparring top heavyweights and getting the better of them. So he's undoubtedly a massive talent. From my point of view, same as you, I've been sort of flipping and flopping really in terms of who I think. But I think same as you, Damien. I think that Wilder's power is such an equaliser that Tyson Fury could outbox him for sort of 11 rounds, 11 and a half rounds, and then 1 second, like against Ortiz, 1 second, and it's all over. And I know that Tyson Fury got up twice last time, but you know what? I don't think that he'd be able to do that again. He might be able to get up once, but I think that there will be a concussive blow that means that he's not getting up for the count of 10. He might get up for 11 or 12, but I just think that power is just, everyone is saying as well, the people that spar with Deontay Wilder, they're all saying how much more power this guy's got than most other every other heavyweight out there. They're literally saying it's like his superhuman power. And so I think for him to avoid that 1 second is a bigger ask than for what Wilder's got to do, which is just basically do what he did against Ortiz, which is be patient, wait to drop the boom, and drop it, and it's the end of the fight. And people will say that he's wild, but I think he's wild after he's got them. He's not wild before he gets them. He's wild when they're all rocking and they're ready to go. Then he's swinging and missing, flying all over the place. But some of the setups, I mean, when he grabs the hand, brings it out the way, and lands that shot, it's a beautiful setup. It's almost like a long version of the Lomachenko hand trap, which is the bring down and hit, which Lomachenko does close in. And Tyson Fury has got to watch out for that, because he might think that he's super elusive and he moves his head well, and he does. But the bottom line is, once he gets in range, Wilder can just one punch.
Well, I think the thing with Wilder as well, like in the last fight, I didn't really notice, but like when he was throwing those right hands, he was throwing them sort of very over. And when he caught Tyson, I think he finally realised that he needs to throw him straight down the pipe. Because when he was throwing him over, that's when Fury was literally just ducking under every time. And I think if he goes into it with these straight ones that he got in with from the beginning, it could spell trouble for Fury. I personally find it quite infuriating watching Wilder, because like I think he relies so much on his power.
Yeah.
Like he relies so heavily on it. Like I don't find it a pleasure watching him because I'm thinking, from my career, I like seeing the skill.
Yeah.
So watching Fury's a pleasure, but like I watch Wilder, I'm thinking, yeah, it's all very well and good, like, but all you're going for is that knockout. I think Fury ain't
Yeah. But it's effective.
That's the trouble.
It's
People complain about it and they say, well, you know, he's happy to sit back and take his time and be patient, but he knows it's coming, and it's a huge gamble. But I was watching an interview today that David Hay was saying it's a gamble that's paid off every single time to this point. So regardless of what you say, that power, that equaliser, whether it's a gamble and he sits back, whether it's round 4, whether it's round 9 or whatever, at some point he knows in that 12-round period he will get at least one shot on them. And that's it, that's all he needs. And David Hay, interestingly, said when he fought Vladimir Klitschko with 10-ounce competition gloves, much smaller, so you can feel the knuckles through the gloves, 10-ounce gloves, he hit straight with Klitschko, and he said the power that he got from that. There are videos on YouTube when he was training to fight Fury. Wilder was in his training camp, and he said he had 18-ounce gloves on. Wilder had 18-ounce gloves on. David Hay had a head guard on, and Wilder hit him with the right hand that scuffed the top of the head, not the jaw, but the head, and rocked his head. And he said that hurt him more, and more of an effect on him than Klitschko with 10-ounce going straight at him.
I think
that says something.
Richard Towers as well. He was saying like so many times more powerful than Klitschko. Wilder was so many times more powerful than Fury, and he'd sparred them all, and he'd come away with that as well. To say, look, this guy's almost like Mike Tyson-esque type power, although obviously he doesn't fight in the same style. The result is the same. He hits them and they go down. So, you know, I want, obviously, Fury to win. I really do. I think if it goes to points, I think that they might give it to Fury. It's a school wearer.
I did turn it off.
No, you didn't.
Apologies for that.
Sorry.
Alex has got his alarm to go to bed. But we're going to soldier through. Literally, I don't know where I was now. Where was I?
About Richard Towers and power.
So
amplified.
That power. I mean, everyone's saying how good that power is, and I just think that Tyson Fury has got to be on it for every second of every round. And I mean, even like Ortiz must be gutted. You know, 67 years old. He lasted for all them rounds. Looked like he was, comfortably winning, really.
He was.
And then 1 second, he's on the floor and it's all over. That must have been absolutely gutting. It wasn't even a close fight.
No, it wasn't at all.
I think on the cards every single round he had, and he said in the after the fight, the press conference, he said, I didn't see the punch that knocked him out. He said it wasn't as if he was getting beat up or he just saw things coming. He just said, I was boxing, I was doing well, doing my thing, and then suddenly on the floor looking up going, you're out, you're off. He had no idea what happened to him. And that same thing, that phase of the left hand, whether it's a jab, it's effective, but really it's just a smoke screen for the right hand that then twists through. And we saw the same thing, that was one of the best finishes ever. The rematch of Lennox Lewis, Hasim Ratman, was just the same thing. Smoke screen left, no real damage, but it was the right hand coming after it that he didn't see, that just got him straight on the side of the head and he was gone. So same thing.
I've just remembered what I was going to say. When it comes to the decision, if it goes to 12 rounds, I think because of what happened in the first one, that the Americans might lean towards Fury.
Yes.
So if it gets to 12 rounds, I think it would almost be like a Lennox Lewis versus Evander Holyfield. Where actually Evander Holyfield in the second fight actually fought better than in the first fight. It was closer. And yet they still gave it to Lennox because there was such an uproar about the first one. And in this one, he got knocked down a couple of times, but it wasn't a draw. Tyson Fury won the fight. So I think that if it does go to 12 rounds and on the points, I think that Fury will get it. But I suspect that Wilder will catch up with him before then.
At some point it's going to land, isn't it?
And
it's just what happens. That's the only result that I definitely can't see is Wilder points.
Mm.
It's Fury points, but generally there's the outside chance. Can Fury stop him? Potentially, I think he's got the ability to if he fights him on his chest. But really, it's a strong candidate for Wilder to stop him. I think actually I was looking at back a few fights for Fury and thinking of his sort of stoppages. When he got put down against Cunningham, who was a cruiserweight, he's been going through his career and sort of built up for that fight. I think that was in New York, one of Fury's first American fights.
Yeah.
And he put Fury down, big looping right hand over the top, caught him high in the temple, went crashing down. But the moment Fury got up, he sort of stopped boxing and just closed the distance and just sat on it. He reached a much bigger man than he was. That was a 60 odd pound advantage, and he just crushed him and he just mauled him and battered him and knocked him cold pretty much in the end. So,
and Fury is a fighter.
Yes, he is.
He's an absolute a fighter at heart.
Scrap.
He likes to scrap. Yeah. You know, like he always says that no man living, born from his mother, can beat him, and he genuinely believes that. And they do say that you've got to nail him to the canvas to stop him. But I think Wilder's got the tools to nail him to the canvas.
He's got an elbow.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's got a bazooka. That's what he's got. So, Alex, you think
Fury? I think it would be points.
Fury points?
Yeah, I think he managed to outbox him for 12. Although I do concede that is very difficult for him to do.
Oh, unbelievably difficult. But if anybody can do it, I think Tyson Fury can do it.
Yeah.
Because nobody thought he was going to do what he did to Klitschko, go to Germany and do that. So I think there's a definite sort of chance for him to do it.
Yeah.
As I say, I think he'll get the rub of the green as well on the judges' scorecards. Do the WBC want Tyson Fury as a champion, or are they quite happy with Deontay Wilder?
That's why you got to settle it with your own hands. Because they're talking about the same, right? They're saying it's the WBC belt is on the line. There's the lineal heavyweight title, which is just a thing that has gone on from John Sullivan from way back in the day. And then they're saying that the ring belt are going to now unify with their belt.
Yeah.
But what no one's mentioning, and whether it's just a bit of jewellery, I'm sure Fury fought for a WBC Mayan belt in one of his. Was it
I think that was just a one-off.
Was it just a one-off belt?
So, yeah.
So it's not a title, it's just a thing.
It's just
Because it was a beautiful belt, and he had this WBC Mayan. I think it was the fight against Wallen, was it? Because it was the Mexican. Through Mexico.
They love giving that sort of stuff out.
But if Wallen had won, they probably wouldn't have given him the belt. They didn't want to give it to him. It was a belt specially made for Tyson Fury to make up for the fact that he didn't get the decision against Deontay Wilder for their belt. So there's a few. I mean, obviously, we'll have a discussion about sort of the YouTube things. But again, even with the YouTubers, you've got Jake Paul, and he's got a WBC belt. I mean, I've got a WBC belt, but I bought it off eBay. But he's got a WBC belt, amateur belt that was awarded to him by the WBC, which is absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. So
must be the sanctioning fees, or it's politics of if someone fights under their belt, then they get some of the gains of the person.
Yeah, they get a sanctioning fee.
Multiple million different, not just in a weight division now, but it's like a super or regular or silver or international or whatever belt. They get sanctioning off all of this, so for them it's just a business now.
But they definitely don't want Dillian White to be the champion. They've made that quite clear. So do they want Tyson Fury to be the champion, or are they quite happy that their figurehead is an American Deontay Wilder?
I think so. Going back to Muhammad Ali, the picture there on the wall, and going back to who's held that WBC title, is considered to be the original belt and then sort of the main title. I think for boxing, you detract from organisations. For boxing, it's better for Fury to win. Because I'm thinking down the line, maybe unification. Fury against Joshua. Being all British, if that was held in this country, or whether they take it to Saudi or wherever for money, that is the pinnacle of the. That's one of the fights of all time.
But again,
of what that means.
I think Wilder and Joshua would be
It was
really,
a great
would be
fight.
really intriguing
It was
as
a great
well.
fight.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
It would be massive.
But like you say, all British would be great.
That'd
wouldn't
be
it?
incredible.
Really good,
That'd be
yeah.
one of the biggest things ever.
But America versus British is also
Yeah, it's
massive as
always,
well.
always big, isn't it?
Always
the
big.
history of Tyson and Holyfield and Lewis and Bruno and all those mix-ups. you
Yeah,
know, who's
absolutely.
really the best.
Yeah.
That's always been good.
So at least now we have got a situation where he's very exciting.
Yeah.
And I do think that Tyson Fury, he's already said that he's going to have 3 fights. He's going to fight Wilder, then he's going to fight Joshua, and then he's going to fight Dillian White.
Has it?
I think so, yeah.
I read something different today where he was saying what he wants a trilogy with Chisora
Oh, does he?
and have a goodbye fight at Old Trafford.
Oh, right, perhaps he's
Maybe
freezing
he's-
Dillian
maybe
White
he's-
out as well.
Maybe he's changing his mind on
Maybe.
another one. You know,
No, nobody wants to fight Dillian White.
no.
It's a shame for the guy.
Too dangerous.
I like Dillian White.
Yeah. I think he's proved himself time and time again, and you know, he come through like that drugs thing, which wasn't a drugs thing,
No.
tarnished his reputation,
Yeah.
put him through a bad time, trying to break him really,
Yeah.
and he's still there. So fair play to him. So, in summing up, then, Alex, points: Tyson Fury,
Yeah.
Wilder.
I'm going to go mid-range. I'm going to go Wilder in 5.
Wilder in
I
5.
think Fury's going to press him. He's going to press him.
Doesn't happen on Sky. This.
Where's Richie Woodall?
What's happening? What's happening?
yeah.
We've got a new studio. And he's got alarm
Sorry,
say go to
yeah,
bed.
I'm sorry.
Wilder in 5. I think if Fury presses him, and I think he will do it,
Mm.
he's going to walk onto something.
Yeah.
And it won't take that long for Wilder to find that range.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
well, Wilder in 5. Sorry, because I'm a huge Fury fan. I want Fury to win,
Yeah.
but I just that equaliser, that is too much. I just think Wilder in 5.
I'm thinking Wilder 9.
Yeah,
I think it'll just be round after round after round. Fury making him look silly on occasions, making him miss, moving round, boxing well. 1 second, 1 punch. Good night.
Yeah.
So obviously I've got a lot of my sort of viewers are American. I take a little bit of flack on the channel from some quarters because obviously I back Fly, it's a British company, and even though they're absolutely fantastic gloves, people think because I'm British and they're a British company that I'm biased. But I am actually backing Wilder, so that just shows you how biased I am.
Who are you mostly?
Yeah,
Fury fan, but I think Wilder's fan.
everything's thrown out there. We say it as it is on the channel. So it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm really looking forward to the fight. Whoever wins, I think it will be brilliant. Oh, I wonder what he was doing then. I thought he was going home. Whoever the winner is going to be, I think it'll be fantastic because obviously Joshua, fingers crossed, is waiting for the winner.
Yeah.
And then that sets up a great fight. And I think it will be in Dubai. I think the money over there will mean that they'll look at the figures for Wembley and they'll look at the figures for Dubai and they'll go to Dubai.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah. And then, so that sets things up lovely. Whoever wins, let's hope it's not a draw.
No, please, no.
A draw would be a terrible result.
It would put the whole system of what we're trying to do back another 2 years.
Yeah.
Because then there'll be other fights in between, trying to set up another rematch and something else. And no,
Yeah.
no, please.
So,
no.
judges, if the judges are watching, let's find a winner. Let's not get any draws on this one. We need a winner. So thanks very much, lads, for discussing that. Really sort of some great points being made, and we're really looking forward to this big fight. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe to Fit to Box channel, and I shall speak to you soon. You better go to bed.
Yeah, 2 alarms.
Well, I think it was either one. I think you snoozed it, Damien.
Oh, Damien!